What's up everyone, it's your boy LJ, and in this video I'm going to talk about my first power rack, the PR-4000 by Rep Fitness. If you're new to the channel, please make sure to subscribe, and if you like the video, please make sure to show the thumbs up button, some love. So my second video on YouTube was the one on my first power rack, the PR-4000 by Rep Fitness. So I thought I'd go back and hit the specs real quick, hit some of the questions that I've been asked, and some of the things that I would change if I could do it all over again. So some quick call-outs before I jump right into the video is that the PR-4000 is rated at 1,000 pound capacity, which I don't have to worry about because I'm nowhere near that type of weight. And it is 3x3 11 gauge steel. And also one of the cool things about the rack is that the uprights in the bench area offers west side spacing so that you can get the height just right for your J-cups. So you can hit that max PR, you know, when you're benching. I haven't hit a PR yet, but I'll get there. So that's something cool, something to keep in mind. My PR-4000 setup that I currently have is the 80-inch uprights with the 24-inch cross members. And of course I have the additional uprights for the weight storage, which has an additional cross member, which is an additional 16 inches. So the measurement altogether front to back at the base of the foot of the uprights, it's about 52.5 inches, and side to side base of the foot of the uprights, we're talking about 50.25 inches, but from end to end of the actual uprights, it's 47 inches. Typically, from what I've seen or from what I've read, is that tends to be around 49 inches on most power racks, but the 47 inches is a little bit more forgiving, so just something to keep in mind. Now from the wall to the actual lat attachment base, it's about 5.5 inches of separation. That just gives me just enough space to actually get in there and put the actual weights on the lat pulley system, and it's plenty of space to actually load and unload the weights from the actual weight storage that I have. Another thing that I would mention is that I try to optimize my setup for space, but if I wanted to, I could attach the rear base stabilizer and the lat attachment pull down to the actual weight uprights instead of the main cage and take up a little bit more space, but it would also keep it away from the lat system so I can actually get in and out a lot smoother and a lot easier. So just something to keep in mind. If you do end up purchasing the weight storage uprights, you could technically attach the lat pull down system and the rear base stabilizer to that as opposed to the main power rack. Some things that I do want to call out is that I did upgrade the pull-up bar from the basic pull-up bar to the multi-grip pull-up bar. I actually updated the safety pins to safety straps. And another thing is that I actually ended up keeping the standard J-cups that the power rack came with. I didn't upgrade that. The reason why I stuck to Rep Fitness's standard J-cup is because of the fact that the UHMW liner is basically on all sides, so your barbell is going to be protected. One of the things that I get asked often is, do I have the squat rack bolted down? This thing is built like a tank, so no, I don't. It doesn't mean that you shouldn't. I mean, one of the biggest reasons why I didn't bolt it down was also because of the fact that I do have weight storage, so it really adds to the stability and it adds to the already incredibly heavy power rack. I have the band pegs for the squat rack, so I have used it with resistance bands, whether I'm doing box squats or bench press. I haven't had an issue with it moving, whether I'm doing pull-ups, weighted pull-ups, dips, everything's been fine without having to bolt it down. Should you bolt it down? That's your call. I'm not gonna tell you not to bolt it down because I'm not trying to get anyone into drama or have something happen and then come and say, hey, my boy LJ, you told me not to bolt it down. That's your call. You're grown, figure it out. Something that I would mention is that because of the fact that I have the multi-grip pull-up bar, it does give me the option to do a variety of pull-ups, but with that said, as I mentioned earlier, this is the 24-inch cross-member rack. If you do end up getting the lat attachment for the power rack and you are getting the multi-grip pull-up bar, that backside of the pull-up bar is basically unusable because of the fact that the lat attachment pulley system basically will get in the way of you being able to utilize the backside of the multi-grip pull-up bar. So something to keep in mind. Another thing that I would mention is that initially I bought 3 long weight horns and 3 short weight horns. I didn't need them all, so I ended up just using 2 of the long horns on each side for 45s and for 25s, and then I have 3 short weight horns for the 5s, 10s, and at some point hopefully change plates when I happen to catch them, because I've been unlucky and I haven't been able to see any, so sad day. Now if you end up getting the lat attachment, then you're gonna end up with like this foot pedestal thing, and you're also gonna need the rear base stabilizer. And I've been asked if it does get in the way of doing a bench press, and just so you know, it doesn't. I've used it many times and I can do a bench press no problem. It doesn't get in the way. The lat attachment cable doesn't get in the way either. You'll be fine. It will not get in the way of the bench. Can you deadlift within the 24-inch Crossmember power rack? Yes, you can. But I would not. It's just awkward. It's awkward to be in the cage to do that, but you do have the space to do it. So, I mean, it's totally up to you. The one thing that I would mention is that you would need to be using at least the 45-inch plates to be able to clear the bottom cross members of the power rack. 25s will not clear it, so you're gonna hit. I'm not sure if 35s clear it. I don't have 35s, so I wasn't able to test that out, but 45s and you're gold. Can you use the uprights of the power rack? Do I need to get the additional weight storage? You can use the actual uprights of the power rack. It's gonna be kind of awkward because you'd have to find a place for them so that they don't get in the way of you squatting or of you deadlifting if you're gonna deadlift inside the power rack, or if you are benching. It seems like more of a hassle than anything. That's just me, that's personal preference. I have the landmine for it. It's worked perfectly fine. I mean, it's a landmine. There's not much more to that. I also have the dip bar. It works awesome. I do have the lat attachment as well, but I'm not gonna go into detail there because of the fact that I made another video for that, and I'll put the link in the description below. A quick call out with the 24-inch Crossmember power rack is that it's gonna be tough to try and do an incline bench press inside of the rack if you have the lat attachment or the rear base stabilizer. Now, I only bring this up because someone asked in a previous video. Just something to keep in mind if you do incline bench inside of a power rack, or if you like to do that, maybe you need to get the larger cross members so that you can do that effectively within the power rack. Now, the only thing that I would change if I were to go back to June when I was placing the order for this power rack is actually the J-cups. Now, as I mentioned, the J-cups are awesome because they have the UHMW liner already, but they sometimes feel or seem a little janky because of the fact that when you go to unrack or if you go to re-rack, this thing will actually move on you. It's because of the way that they have the bolt in there. I don't know if you can see this. This will actually move. It's just annoying more than anything. There's really no issue, but sometimes it's gonna get in the way. If I could, I would get the sandwich J-cups, mainly because of the fact that there's been a few times where I've come in a bit short when I'm re-racking from a squat, and I end up hitting the bar here, or if I'm doing an incline bench press and I end up just missing altogether, or just going to re-rack and just straight up dinging against this. So my barbell already does have a few dings because of it. The J-cups that they do offer, they do have the UHMW liner all the way around. The other thing with those sandwich J-cups, the width is a lot shorter, so you do have a little bit more wiggle room. Other than that, these are perfectly fine. It's just me being me and being nitpicky. That's it. Hopefully that helped out some of you. But anyways, let me know in the comments, is the PR-4000 a power rack that you're looking into? Are there things that you're still questioning as far as like what you should purchase, what you shouldn't, or what you should upgrade and what you should not upgrade on it? And if you have a moment, go check out my Instagram. It's myboylj, just like the YouTube channel, myboylj. I post videos daily of workouts that I do and whatnot. Go check it out. Thanks again for watching. This is your boy LJ, and I'll catch you next time.